Amelia Earhart broke down barriers and paved the way for future women to buck the system and achieve success in any and all walks of life. Yet her story isn't as well known as it should be. So today, we'll change that. We'll take a look at Earhart's upbringing and accomplishments in the aviation world. We'll also discuss the preparation for her flight around the world, and of course, her mysterious disappearance, and some of the theories surrounding what might have happened to her. I'm Mike.
I'm Ian.
And I'm Dave. If you thought walking home a few blocks tested Ian's navigational skills, stick around. Let's see how he does with the exotic locales in today's show. This is Necronomipod.
Rick Gillespie, who has researched Earhart's doomed flight for 30 years, says he has proof Earhart crash-landed on a remote South Pacific island about 2,000 miles from Hawaii, and that she called for help for nearly a week before her plane was swept out to sea. Gillespie has located documentation of distress signals sent in the days after Earhart's disappearance, prompting the Navy to launch a rescue mission.
And it took the battleship a week to get there, by which time the radio signals had stopped. And when the planes flew over the island, they didn't see an airplane. Now, the airplane's manufacturer, Lockheed, had said that if you're hearing calls from this airplane, it's not floating around in the water because the radios would be wet, it wouldn't work.
All right, so out of the gate, Ian, you got some corrections to make, I believe.
I do have a correction from last week.
From our Big's Foot episode.
I said Jane Goodall taught Coco how to do sign language. Coco the gorilla. It was actually Penny Patterson taught him. Jane Goodall only met Coco once, briefly.
We'll see you guys next week.
What do you mean by briefly?
Depends on your definition of briefly. So what was it? Patty Packer? What was her name? Penny Pecker?
Penny Patterson.
Puny Pecker. That was your nickname in college.
Puny Pecker.
Puny Pecker.
If Penny Pecker picked my puny pecker, how many puny peckers did Penny Pecker pick? And we made it 14 seconds before going off the rails.
Jane Goodall only lived with gorillas. That's what she did. I thought that she taught Coco.
This lady was the gorilla sign language woman. It's an honest mistake.
Yeah. I mean,
it's okay, Ian.
They're both
perfect.
Given that it wasn't even anything to do with our episode, it was just a side note.
Yeah.
Still good on you for making the correction.
It's in a research university here, motherfuckers. What do you expect?
You know what else needs correction?
There ain't no PhD sitting at the table here.
There's not.
Well, never mind.
Pretty hard dick. Is that what you were going to say? PhD?
No, but I'll go with that. I'll go with that one. Speaking of corrections and people needing corrections, Dave, something's been chapping your ass.
Well, I did see some comments on the post about how we should do better research because that Patterson Gimlin video is widely accepted as being true, which one is fucking ridiculous.
I feel like that's widely accepted as being laughed at.
It's clearly someone in a rubber suit. So I don't know what kind of research you're talking about, but my eyes saw the video, and that's really all the research I need. That's clearly not a real... Come on, stop. Just stop. You're embarrassing yourself, sir.
I think there was multiple people that referenced some show, and I don't even know what the show is. And it's not to crap on the show, because I don't know what it is, but they said that it's been analyzed and it's been proven as real. And I'm just tired, as a wrestling fan, of being mocked my whole life, and people saying, you know it's fake, right? Of course I know it's fake. And then stuff like this happens, people buy it.
It's a rubber suit. I mean, come on. You're not serious, are you? You're not seriously telling me that you believe that's a Bigfoot in that video? A lot of people bagging on that the, what was the guy's name?
The costume maker?
The costume maker, that clearly he was lying on. But okay, but the video's still not real. Like, I watched it. It's not a Bigfoot. That's a guy in a suit. I don't know.
I believe in Bigfoot.
I do too.
I feel like I would be kind of hypocritical if I said I didn't, but I believe in Mothman. And, well, Jeff the Talking Mongoose's Patreon. But
well, obviously we know he's real. We've confirmed that.
My son was he was really self-conscious about stuff like last week. He was worrying about feeling stupid. And I was like, buddy, I just told a couple thousand people that I think a talking mongoose existed, so don't worry about it.
What are you, fucking idiot?
Yeah, like you two. I mean, I don't necessarily believe in Bigfoot. You two do.
I 100% believe in Bigfoot.
You just don't buy that video.
But that video is nonsense. Just stop. There's no research. It's just a backhanded, do better research. Motherfucker, I watched the video. What do you want to research? There's no research. It's a guy in a rubber suit. Stop it. It's not widely accepted as being real. That's a ridiculous thing to say.
Dave can watch a video and tell you when it's a woman being banged out by a horse, and he can watch a video and tell you when it's a fake Bigfoot. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong at all. You're 100% accurate in that assertion.
He can see a clip and go, yeah, that's a horse cock going into that woman. I get it. Hey, that's not really Bigfoot.
Dave Namapod, horse cock expert.
Jesus is widely accepted as being real too.
No, that's clearly not real. I mean, come on.
Where's the Patterson Gimlin footage of him? Looking at his shoulder all disgusted, Karen like. That being said,
when's the last time you saw someone rise from the dead? I mean, come on.
Well,
seriously,
motherfucker, The Undertaker. I've seen it live in person. Okay, so there's that. Now you've pissed everybody off, and Ian made his corrections.
I mean, you can cast aspersions on research, but that's just a matter of opinion. There's no further research that's going to prove that video fake or real.
And again,
it's just my opinion. I'm not 100% correct in anything.
I don't know what TV series it was that broke this down, but I would imagine there is a little part of that show that goes for entertainment value. And
yes.
Is it sexier to have that be real or a hoax?
Of course.
Makes for better TV if it's real.
It's just my opinion. It's not research based. I saw a guy in a rubber suit making weird movements.
Well, that was just my video I made in college. But there's also the Bigfoot video.
I guess the tracks are considered like the actual evidence, and there's a lot of
and that's what I was asking last week is like, obviously there's a strong contingent of people and even scientists that believe in this. We didn't necessarily in our stories cover anything specific. Everything we talked about was debunked, so there has to be something out there that is leading all these people to believe in it. It's the tracks that I think was the biggest thing.
That's physical evidence.
Yeah, there's a lot of scientists, like really credible people, that believe in some of those tracks. So.
Yeah,
I'm glad we could clear this up. I like the controversial takes that people have on this.
You know what we're going to clear up next? The disappearance of Amelia Earhart.
Nice.
We're going to get final answers tonight.
Great segue.
Before we get into the story, I figured we could start out with a list of Amelia Earhart's achievements and records, just to kind of set up what she was able to accomplish in the time where women weren't seen as equals, and how she used these records to push for women's rights.
What? In my country, women are equals to the donkeys, yes?
Remember when he's telling it, dude? That women, or that guy's telling him that women have a choice who they can marry. He's like, what?
What?
It's when he's taking the driving exam.
That's right.
And his instructor's like, in this country, women have the right to choose who they want to marry. What? And then the instructor's like, that's good, isn't it? And Bar's like, that's not good for me.
He's like, no, yes, it is good for you. So in 1922, she set the female altitude record of 14,000 feet. 1928, first woman to fly across the Atlantic as a passenger. 1929, she set the female flying speed record. The next year, 1930, she set that speed record again. 1931, she was the first woman to fly in an autogyro aircraft. Again in 1931, she set the autogyro altitude record for 18,415 feet. 1932, first woman and only second person to fly solo nonstop across the Atlantic. Again in 32, first woman to fly solo and nonstop across the United States. In 1933, she reset her transcontinental record. And then the remainder of these are all in 1935. First person to fly solo from Honolulu to the U.S. mainland. Speed record flying between Mexico City and Washington, D.C., and first person to fly solo from Mexico City to Newark, New Jersey.
It really is amazing. I mean, almost 100 years ago, considering we live in a world now where women can't even drive in certain ridiculous countries on this planet. So yeah, it absolutely is.
So Amelia Earhart was born in Atchison, Kansas on July 24th, 1897, and had a sister who was 2 years younger than her named Grace. Amelia was nicknamed Millie, and Grace was nicknamed Pidge, which carried on with them through adulthood. Right away, they were raised different than other girls in their neighborhood. Their mother was quoted as saying that she didn't believe in raising them as, quote, nice little girls. So they didn't wear dresses or do things that girls did. Their grandparents didn't love how they were raised, but her mother stuck to raising the girls how she saw fit. Amelia spent hours outside playing with her sister Grace. The two would climb trees, hunt for rats, collect bugs, go sled riding, basically everything that girls weren't supposed to do. In 1904, Amelia and Grace built what was pretty much a homemade roller coaster with a big ramp attached to the shed in their yard. The way it's told is that Amelia went flying down this ramp in a wooden box, going up into the air and crashing to the ground. She was all bruised, her clothes were all ripped up, and she jumped up saying, quote, Pidge, it's just like flying.
That's fantastic. Good for her. Homemade roller coaster.
Yeah, that's sweet.
I love it.
Don't love the nickname Pidge.
What's wrong with Pidge?
Yeah, it's not a fan. Pidge.
You don't like it?
Don't like that one. What was her? Millie? That's all right.
Yeah.
Millie and Mealy? I think it was a couple different ways.
Mealy?
No Pit. Mealy, Millie. No Pidge, though.
Not for me.
Eh.
But if it worked for Grace, hey, go for it.
In 1908, Amelia's father took the girls to the Iowa State Fair. And even though Amelia was all about adventure and doing all this outside stuff, she wasn't interested in the airplane that was there. Her father tried to get the girls to ride it. And later on, Amelia recalled, quote, a thing of rusty wire and wood and not interesting at all.
Well, okay, then.
It doesn't sound very safe. Like I wouldn't want to ride in it.
No, it sounds like a fucking death trap.
So, Mike, every presidential candidate hopeful goes to the Iowa State Fair nowadays because Iowa is so important on the primary circuit. Do you know who the first president to attend the Iowa State Fair was?
I don't, but let me think about it for a minute.
We'll need the name and year. Name and year is what we're looking for here.
Was it during an election year?
No. Sorry, I'm like 5 whiskeys in. I had to do some quick calculations in my head there.
I'm going to just throw a guess out there. Harry Truman.
I'm sorry, it was Eisenhower. You were close.
That was
Very close.
God damn it.
1954.
Okay.
54 is the answer we were looking for.
I was going to guess Truman 47 if I had to put a year on it. But okay,
Pretty
Eisenhower.
good.
Well, Dwight. Okay.
Yeah.
I like Ike.
Do you like Ike?
Well, that's what the sticker said.
The family ended up moving to Des Moines, Iowa, after Amelia's father got a very well-paying job with Rock Island Railroad, and they were able to buy a new house and employ 2 maids. So pretty good for early 1900s.
Yeah, I don't have any maids.
I was going to say, it's pretty good for 2021.
2 maids sounds fucking great.
Yeah.
I'll be cleaning up all these fucking beer cans down here tomorrow morning.
Seriously. God damn.
This job didn't last very long as her father, Edwin, was an alcoholic, which resulted in him losing his job in 1914.
Well, it didn't last very long. Edwin.
Around this time, her grandmother, Amelia Otis, passed away and left a large amount of money to Amelia, which was placed into a trust, fearing that her father would spend it all on alcohol. This caused a lot of negative feelings, and Amelia later said that it was the end of her childhood.
And she was how old at that point? 1897 to about 1914. Is that what? Yeah, 17. Well, in all actuality, one more year would have been the end of her childhood. So let's not get dramatic here.
Save the drama for your mama, if you will, Amelia.
In 1915, her father found a job at the Great Northern Railway in St. Paul, Minnesota. Due to financial issues, her father struggling at work and the whole alcoholism thing, their mother, Amy, moved with the girls to Chicago. Once in Chicago, Amelia wanted to go to the high school that offered the best science classes. So she didn't go to the one that was closest to her. She ended up going to Hyde Park High School, where her yearbook says, quote, AE, the girl in brown who walks alone.
And presumably because she kept to herself and didn't have any friends.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for clearing that up. I didn't get that.
It's VH1 pop-up video version.
Bloop.
After graduating in 1916, Amelia sought out a career in something that was considered to be something that only men did.
So everything, in other words.
Pretty much. I was looking at the list of things that she had like in her notes and stuff regarding future work. It was like literally every job ever. Pretty much.
Unless you want to stay home and get banged and cook and clean all day.
Then literally every other job is not typically a woman's job at this time. Yeah. Good for her. It's also very common too, I think, for a lot of, young individuals to go off to college not quite knowing what path they want to take yet. Take that first year just to get your basic studies out of the way and figure it out. Even decide if college is for you or not.
General studies, students.
General studies. And you figure out if you want to, further your education, and if so, what you want to study.
Some people decide to major in pussy like you did.
Speaking of PhDs. Dr. Pussy Slayer to you. That was my nickname in grad school.
I thought he was going to say grade school.
No, grad school. Oh, come on, man. Oh, been dangerously close to Chris Hansen walking in here.
She was accepted for college at the Ogon School in Rydal, PA, but dropped out before graduating. From there, she visited her sister in 1917, who had been living in Toronto, Canada. After seeing soldiers returning from battle in World War I, Amelia got training from the Red Cross and became a military nurse. When the 1918 Spanish flu hit Toronto, Amelia started working night shifts at the Spadina Military Hospital. She ended up getting hospitalized herself in early November of 1918 due to pneumonia and discharged in December of 1918. This pneumonia resulted in chronic sinus issues that was lifelong for her. It significantly affected her flying later in life. Sometimes on the airfield, she was forced to wear a bandage over her cheek to cover a small drainage tube that was coming out of her nose.
Yikes.
Because the air,
it's awful.
the air pressure would make her eyes and a lot of pressure. So she'd have this tube.
Yeah. Well, those planes weren't pressurized back then. So it's a whole different story, man.
Yeah.
That's the early days of flying. Also, the Spanish flu was a global conspiracy. It was a hoax. It never happened. If there was a vaccine back then, I would not have gotten it. I mean, seriously, what was the death rate? Come on. Was that even real?
Come on.
Stop.
Yeah, I agree.
My body, my choice.
It might magnetize you. It could have chipped those people back.
I'd rather have Spanish flu than forks sticking to my face when I got magnetized from the vaccine. I agree.
Okay. Meanwhile, she's just walking around with, some sinus issues and needs a drain coming out of her nose just to fly. She wasn't complaining. She's a go-getter.
Around the time that her health got better, Amelia attended a flight exhibition in Toronto, where one of the main attractions was a demonstration by a World War I ace. The pilot saw Amelia and her friend watching from a spot far away from the crowd, like in the middle of a field, and dove at them. Amelia later said, quote, "I'm sure he said to himself, watch me make them scamper. But I did not understand it at the time, but I believe that little red airplane said something to me as it swished by."
What a prick. He's dive bombing young girls at fucking air shows. Real nice, pal.
Dipshits are dipshits. What are you going to do?
Like German ace, obviously. Probably the Red Baron. No, he got shot down in the war. Never mind. It's Snoopy. Snoopy after he shot down the Red Baron.
On December 28th, 1920, Amelia went with her father to an airfield in Long Beach, California, where pilot Frank Hawks gave her a ride in his airplane. Amelia said, quote, "By the time I got 200 or 300 feet off the ground, I knew I had to fly."
I think I would enjoy having a pilot's license myself.
I think it'd be cool. The amount of studying and time and effort you got to put into it.
We have that patron that's a pilot.
Yeah.
He says he listens to the show while he's flying.
Yeah.
Which that blows my mind. So I don't know why it blows my mind so much.
I flew back from Orlando today, and I was thinking about that. I'm like, I hope the pilot's not listening.
Fuck me, Peter. Fuck me.
Our show starts laughing, and then
he comes over
dive bombs.
Going through a bit of turbulence. Please bear with us. The seatbelt sign is on. We'll get you through this in a minute. Fuck me, Peter. Finally going up and down, up and down.
I think it'd be cool to get your pilot's license, though.
It'd be sweet. It just makes my head hurt thinking about probably all, just everything you have to learn.
It's a lot.
Just look at the controls.
Right.
In the cockpit.
I get anxiety just looking at that shit. Like, oh my God. Whew. But yeah, that'd be cool.
After this, Amelia saved up $1,000 for flying lessons and had her first one on January 3rd, 1921 at Kinner Field near Long Beach, California.
So that's about 15 grand in today's money. So, I mean, that's a big chunk of change.
I wonder
back
what
then.
I wonder what flying lessons are today.
It's a good question. Probably comparable.
You think so?
It's not cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not something
of course.
poor people get to do.
Yeah. Hey, you get control of this plane now, but we'll do it for free.
I mean, gas alone, it's an expensive thing.
Yeah. Okay.
From there, Amelia began setting records, starting on October 22nd, 1922, when she set the female altitude record of 14,000 feet that we talked about earlier. On May 16th, 1923, Amelia received her pilot license and became the 16th woman to receive her license, which is interesting because you don't know anything about the other 15 or just even the first one to get it.
Sure.
About Amelia.
Plus, just flying in the 20s just was probably wasn't great. It was cold.
How many of those first 15 were still alive?
It's also another good point. Like, you can look at old pictures, like commercial flights in the 20s. It's cold. It's unpressurized. Like, it's not a fun thing. I don't think.
That Auto Giro plane that she flew looks super fucking unsafe. It basically looks like a soapbox kind of car that would.
Do you mean to tell
fly.
me if I would have sat down in a plane back then, I would not have been brought a hot towel and a Bloody Mary?
I don't think so. No.
That would really be a discomfort to me as I was traveling.
It would have been unacceptable for someone of your stature.
Come on. I need a hot towel waiting for me and a Bloody Mary, extra olives, and keep them coming.
Extra olives and keep them coming.
I like some green olives. Throw them at the bottom, let them soak up. Now I want to go.
I like the olives too.
Yeah, but you don't like Bloody Marys.
I don't.
But in a
I like tomato juice.
In a martini,
it's disgusting.
You don't like tomato juice?
No.
Do you like Bloody Marys?
Oh yeah, for
All
sure.
right,
I like
finally,
V8,
somebody.
like just drinking tomato
The
juice.
spicy V8's the best.
Nope.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, I usually get regular V8, but then I take black pepper and just put it all over
Nice.
the top.
Terrible.
Well, so what do you like your olives? Martinis?
Martini
Let the olives sit.
sure.
Yeah. But you
I
gotta
like
let
tomato juice.
You got to let the olives sit at the bottom of the drink, though, and soak it all up, and then you eat those at
it's
the
the
end.
best.
It's like a little treat when you're done. It's like,
What you can do, you just get a big jar of olives, you pour vodka in there and let them soak in your fridge.
you can also do that.
Pull them out every now and then. It's quite tasty.
You know what I tried for the first time ever yesterday?
Being sodomized by a gorilla?
No, please. Years ago, Dave.
I was thinking about Coco still.
That creepy picture of Penny Patterson and Coco.
Patty Packer, whatever her name was. Pickled eggs.
I do like pickled eggs.
Loved them. So good. I have yet to find a food I haven't loved pickled. I tried asparagus recently. Delicious. Cauliflower. Delicious. Pickled eggs. Delicious.
I love pickled eggs.
Yeah.
Is that with like the beets and stuff?
Beets and vinegar,
Yeah,
sure.
no, I can't. I don't like beets, so.
I love
do it.
But
beets.
there was no beets. So it's just straight up, like just regular.
You can
pickled
pickle them
eggs.
without the beets, I
Yeah.
guess. They're better with the beets.
I didn't try that one. I just figured I'd dip my toes in the water.
Sure.
And loved it. But I'm sure I would like it with the beets too. Anyways, pickled eggs, big fan.
I've never had them without the beets, though. I don't know what that tastes like.
I've only seen them with the beets.
Yeah, we make
Literally
them with
tastes
beets.
like a pickled egg.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll bring you guys some. Next week, snacks on me. We're going to have pickled eggs here in studio. Juice dripping all over our fucking notes.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the following year after she got her license, Amelia took a hiatus from flying. Her parents got divorced, and Amelia drove with her mother from California to Massachusetts, where they moved in with her sister. Amelia went to New York briefly to enroll at Columbia, but Pretty soon she moved back to Boston, where she worked first as a teacher and then as a social worker at Dennison House, teaching English to Syrian and Chinese immigrants. This lady has lived like the craziest life for back then.
Yeah.
Like being able
She's done everything.
That's great.
She's a teacher, a pilot, a World War I nurse. It's crazy.
Trailblazer, if you will.
Mm-hmm. After teaching English for a few years, Amelia joined the Boston chapter of the National Aeronautic Association and started to be featured in newspapers as an advocate for female pilots in 1927.
Hey, what do you call a female pilot?
What's that?
A pilot? You fucking misogynistic assholes. What do you think you call them?
Goddamn, pal.
He's right. I can't argue it.
Yeah. I thought I was going to joke. It's not a laughing matter.
No, I for sure thought it was going to be a joke.
The following year, 1928, Amelia became a huge public figure, being the first woman to fly across the Atlantic as a passenger. Amelia Earhart, pilot Wilmer Stultz, and co-pilot and mechanic Lewis Gordon departed from Newfoundland. They arrived in Wales over 20 hours later and were greeted by cheering crowds. Amelia didn't think that she deserved any recognition for being the first woman passenger on a transatlantic flight, saying, quote, "Stultz did all the flying, had to. I was just baggage, like a sack of potatoes. Maybe someday I'll try it alone." In the summer of 1928, Amelia's book about the flight, which was called 20 Hours, 40 Minutes, was published.
So she didn't think she deserved any recognition, but she immediately wrote a book about it?
Well, the guy that we're going to talk about right here that she teamed up with, this publicist, George Putnam, he was a big push for her writing the book and getting to be more of a public figure than she already was.
Smart.
I mean, she's not wrong in the sense of, like, if I was her, like, she's being humble. I just sat on a plane. Like, I didn't do anything. But you're still the first woman to do it. Like, that's, you know,
when celebrity
breaking down doors.
Strikes, you gotta go with it, right?
Well,
Mike Namapod, you're a celebrity.
Absolutely not.
You got to ride it.
No. As I was saying, you know, first woman to do it, there might be little girls looking up to her saying, look she was on an airplane. I want to be on an airplane.
Absolutely.
So that's, you know, she was selling herself a little short on that one.
I agree.
Even if she was just a sack of potatoes. You know what? I like sack of potatoes. They make delicious French fries or
mashed potatoes
or baked potatoes or cheesy potatoes, hash browns,
scallop potatoes, even
shrimp soup, shrimp salad.
Fuck.
Forrest Gump, Academy Award winning film from 1994.
Oh boy.
Beat Shawshank Redemption and Pulp Fiction.
So she ended up going on a national book tour, and she was endorsed by products like Lucky Strike cigarettes and Modern Air luggage, which had their own line of Amelia Earhart luggage. She was also on some stamps back in the day too. And if she wasn't the first woman to be endorsed by a company like Lucky Strike, she's got to be one of the first.
When I'm flying transatlantic, baby, I smoke nothing but my Lucky Strikes.
Fucking, like, that, man, you're a badass if you're smoking non-filtered, those little short-ass packs.
They didn't have filters back then.
They still sell Lucky Strikes.
Yeah, sure.
And it's still the same World War II vets coming to the stores buying them.
Give me a pack of Luckies, baby.
Back in the day, I used to work the convenience store game. It was all these, you know, men you would never want to get into a scrap with because they would just rip your heart out of your chest as they smoked a Lucky Strike. Like, god damn.
I've smoked those Camel non-filters in the past, man. They're fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Cigarettes before filters?
I've never.
Jesus.
I have tried cigarettes. I have tried.
You tried a cigarette once?
I tried it. Oh, I won't sell myself short on that one. I've done some cigarettes in my day.
You've bought a pack, right?
I bought
a couple packs.
Jesus, Ian's like, yeah, you bought a pack, pal. It ain't so tough. I was never an official smoker. Oh, are we done? I was like, what the fuck? He just took his headphones up and got up.
It's like, fuck you, Mike. I'm not working with smokers. I'm the only smoker on this show.
Like, is this a fucking walkout? Is this a walkout? That being said, I've never had a non-filter cigarette. I have no interest in trying that.
It's a lot.
Camel Lights were my jam. I think I've said that before. That, week in college that I smoked. But Camel Lights I thought were quite tasty. Dave's salivating now. Dave misses cigarettes every single day.
He does. He does.
He's a rock now? He does. The Dave says, I need a cigarette.
There was a gas station that used to have their carton. When I was a kid, they had their cartons like just on the wall. They weren't actually behind the counter because the counter was so small.
That's not safe.
Yeah, so me and my friends would steal cartons of cigarettes all the time.
Of course you did.
And then we got, then we found out that this woman in my neighborhood, she was pretty old, probably senile. She started giving us cigarettes, so we stopped stealing them. She gave us non-filtered ones. That's what she smoked.
How were those?
Not great.
They're not great. Wow. It's a lot.
She gets a Lucky Strike endorsement. We can't even get fucking Blue Chew. God damn.
It's a woman's world, Mike. It's a woman's world.
That's the fucking problem, and that's why Blue Chew won't sponsor us. We have too many female listeners. And I still maintain that's the audience you should be going after, because a guy is not likely to admit his dick doesn't get the job done. So you appeal to his girl and, stocking stuffer so that she can get stuffed later that night.
I feel like that stocking stuffer would be kind of a burn, though.
Do you feel like our listeners have limp dick husbands that are not properly stuffing them? Is that what you're insinuating?
Why use unleaded when you can use full synthetic? Just saying.
I can't argue with that because I don't even know what that means, but sure.
Or premium, I guess it's called nowadays. Just saying, maybe their dick's synthetic is more for oil. Still, maybe that works too. I don't know. If they would send me a fucking script, I'd read it. But, maybe their dicks work, but they're not going full throttle. Okay. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Just like a halfway
Just saying.
thing.
Yeah. What we're hinting at here is that Blue Chew told us we have too many female listeners. That's why they will not sponsor us. They more appeal to the male audience, I guess. Whatever. It is what it is. I'll take a Lucky Strike endorsement, I guess.
Start smoking today for your health.
We're all just sitting here like we're fucking Art Bell. There's these little Lucky Strikes. Dave's
got lung problems? Light up a Lucky Strike today and clear them right up.
These white walls turned yellow.
So she got these product endorsements, and she became known as Lady Lindy because of her resemblance to Charles Lindbergh. She also became aviation editor for Cosmopolitan magazine.
Did they do stories back then about like how to get your pussy eaten the best while you're flying across the Atlantic? Cosmo stories?
Yes. Can confirm.
Make sure he hits your G-spot as you're flying across the Rock of Gibraltar.
As far as romantic relationships were concerned, Amelia was engaged to a guy named Samuel Chapman, who was a chemical engineer from Boston. She broke off the engagement with him on November 23rd, 1928. During this same time period, George Putnam, who he said was the publisher of her book, those two were spending a lot of time together. Putnam was divorced in 1929, and he really liked Amelia Earhart. He proposed to her 6 times before she finally agreed to marry him.
It's a lot of times.
She probably just wanted him to shut the fuck up and leave her alone.
Yeah.
They got married on February 7th, 1931, in Putnam's mother's house in Noack, Connecticut. Amelia referred to her marriage as a, quote, partnership with, quote, dual control. In a letter that she wrote to Putnam and hand-delivered it to him on the day of their wedding, she wrote, quote, I want you to understand I shall not hold you to any medieval code of faithfulness to me, nor shall I consider myself bound to you similarly. I may have to keep some place where I can go to be myself now and then, for I cannot guarantee to endure at all times the confinement of even an attractive cage.
Open marriage?
I want to go back to this cage. Is she caging her husband?
Like
the
a cuck
old
cage?
cuck style. Yeah, you put him in a cage. Just saying. Then she goes around banging whoever she wants. Feminism.
It's an interesting letter. She did know how to work a yoke on the plane, if you will.
I read it almost as okay, you asked me 6 times, I'll marry you.
Right.
But we're not doing this traditional marriage thing. I'm just going to keep doing my own thing.
Good for her.
I like it. Good for her. Absolutely.
You ain't putting a baby up in this ass, and I ain't sitting at home making you fucking pancakes for breakfast every day. Motherfucker! That's how she said it. I think.
Is Amelia Earhart an attractive woman? I think she is, but it's hard to tell from those old pictures.
Yeah.
She's got this cute little gap in her teeth. I think she's hot, though.
Yeah, I think so.
I was
so,
trying to
too.
spank it to her the other day. I was close. Yeah, I mean,
I think she is.
There's a picture of her when she first got her license, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, she's very attractive.
Yeah, all right. I'm with you.
I don't know if I'd say very attractive. She's attractive enough. Yeah, sure.
She's always begrudgingly with the, yeah, she's already good.
Well, I mean,
That's not a great picture you're showing me right now. No.
it is what it is,
You
guys.
found the worst picture to show us.
But then you look at like
Yeah, that's a
like
great
classic
picture there.
beauty, like
Yeah.
classic beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the picture I was talking
Yeah.
about.
Wish I would have.
He showed us like the howdy doody picture with someone that
it's
fucked
a
their
photo.
haircut up.
It's a photo. Anyways,
I'm a fan. Thumbs up. 2 thumbs up on Amelia Earhart. That's all I got to say about that.
I respect the shit out of her, and that alone is worth a respect bang.
Oh boy.
In 1935, Amelia joined Purdue University as a visiting faculty member to counsel women on careers and as a technical advisor to its Department of Aeronautics. In early 1936, Amelia started planning the round-the-world flight. Others had flown around the world, but her flight would be the longest at 29,000 miles because it followed a roughly equatorial route.
I think we need a little explanation there. The equator's in the middle of the planet, so it's obviously the widest point. So going around there is going to be the longest distance. If you're flying, somewhere north of the equator, it's going to be shorter because it's not as wide.
Right.
Because the Earth's not flat.
About? No. Oh, okay. I
knew exactly what you were going to say. The Earth is not flat, Mike.
With financing from Purdue, in July of 1936, a Lockheed Electra 10E was built at Lockheed Aircraft Company to Amelia's specifications, which included modifications to the fuselage to add many additional fuel tanks. Amelia called the twin-engine monoplane her, quote, flying laboratory. Amelia chose Captain Harry Manning as her navigator. He had been the captain of President Roosevelt, the ship that had brought Amelia back from Europe in 1928. Manning was not only a navigator, but he was also a pilot, and he was a trained radio operator who knew Morse code. The original plan was a 2-person crew. Amelia would fly, and Manning would navigate. During a flight across the country that included Amelia, Manning, and Putnam, Amelia flew using landmarks. She and Putnam knew where they were. Manning did a navigation plan, but that plan was worrisome because Manning's position put them in the wrong state. So not a great start.
That doesn't sound good.
No. They were
Well, it depends, though, I guess. Like, we're supposed to be in New York. Well, you're in California.
well,
It's true. That's the difference between wrong state and wrong state.
Right.
they were close to the state line, but Putnam was still concerned. Sometime later, Putnam arranged a night flight to test Manning's navigation skills. Under poor navigational conditions, Manning's position again was off by 20 miles. At the time, this was acceptable because the margin of error was 30 miles, but Putnam still wanted a better navigator.
Hey, what the fuck did Putnam ever do? And, what skills does he bring to this process?
Publishing books.
Yeah, exactly.
Banging Amelia Earhart.
Yeah, exactly.
How about that one?
Fucking
30 miles just seems like a large acceptable error number. I don't know.
Dave, you've seen these planes. Like, just landing it, and it's a success, right? Like,
I guess 30 miles, though. Yeah, it's the early days of aviation.
they're literally
I
up
guess.
there, like, what, using maps and,
compasses.
and limited
Sure.
radio ability and fucking Morse code.
I mean, but 30 miles if you're, landing in New York City, put you out in the ocean, maybe, no?
Well, don't land in the water. Don't land in the water would be my advice. Maybe
just saying.
circle back.
30 miles is 30 miles.
Circle back. Also, I'm not sure there's many passengers that are like, hey, I'm taking this because this will take me directly to New York City. And,
Sure.
you know, from...
Good point.
That seems acceptable.
Okay.
This poor Manning guy. Fuck.
Through contacts in the Los Angeles aviation community, Fred Noonan was chosen as a second navigator. Noonan was experienced in both marine and flight navigation. He had recently left Pan Am, where he established most of the company's routes across the Pacific. Noonan had also been responsible for training Pan American's navigators for the route between San Francisco and Manila. The original plans were for Noonan to navigate from Hawaii to Howland Island, then Manning would continue with Amelia to Australia, and then she would go on her own for the rest of the flight.
Is that where she got lost? Australia? Because it doesn't really exist.
See?
Interesting.
Very
interesting. Like, we're going to land here, but there's no such thing. And I don't know what we're going to do now. More to come on that later.
On March 17th, 1937, Amelia and her crew flew the first part from Oakland, California to Honolulu, Hawaii. Along with Amelia and Noonan were Harry Manning and Mance, who was acting as Amelia's technical advisor. Due to lubrication and galling problems, the aircraft needed servicing in Hawaii. The Electra ended up at the United States Navy's Luke Field on Ford Island in Pearl Harbor.
You know who else needs servicing in Hawaii right about now? Me.
Just a point of interest for those of you that might be wondering.
The flight resumed 3 days later from Luke Field with Amelia, Noonan, and Manning on board. The next stop was Howland Island, which was a small island in the Pacific. Manning, the only trained radio operator, had made plans to use radio direction finding to locate the island. The flight ended up never leaving Luke Field. During the takeoff run, there was an uncontrolled ground loop. The forward landing gear collapsed, both propellers hit the ground, the plane skidded on its belly, and part of the runway was damaged. The cause of the ground loop is controversial. Some witnesses at Luke Field, including the Associated Press, said that they saw a tire blow. Amelia thought either the Electra's right tire had blown and or the right landing gear had collapsed. Some sources, including Mance, said that it was a pilot error.
I was reading this sitting on my flight from Orlando this morning. I'm like, no, I don't want to read this anymore. We'll come back to this later.
Terrible story to read in general on a flight. Like, fuck that. I'll go into this episode cold if I have to.
With the aircraft severely damaged, the flight was called off, and the aircraft was shipped by sea to the Lockheed Burbank facility for repairs. Manning had taken a leave of absence from work to do the flight, and he felt that there had been too many problems and delays, so he ended up quitting, leaving only Amelia with Noonan, and neither of them were trained radio operators.
I don't know much about this, but seems like you might want a trained radio operator on a flight around the world. I'm just guessing.
Might want to delay it.
Yeah, figure something else out. Might want to be able to operate a radio. I don't know. Seems logical.
While the Electra was being repaired, Amelia and Putman got additional funds and prepared for a second attempt. This time flying west to east. The second attempt began with an unpublicized flight from Oakland to Miami, and after arriving, Amelia publicly announced her plans to fly around the world.
Can I ask, and I don't know if you know this, but what's the allowable time frame, like, for flying around the world? Like, can I fly to Oakland to Miami and then, hang out in Miami for a month? And then, you know what I mean?
I mean, I think you can now. You can still say you flew around the world.
What constitutes a direct flight around the world? Like, what's the interim period? Can I spend a week in Miami? Can I spend 12 hours in Miami?
I would say that it would have to just be wherever you landed.
Land and refuel.
And make any repairs. Do what, I would want them to check the plane.
You have to sleep.
Give it a good, thorough check, and then go.
I'm wondering what would constitute.
Yeah, but while they're
that.
refueling and checking the plane, you can probably get a good 6-7 hours, and then go, I guess. That's how I would do it. If you're going to say you flew around the world.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So it's official. Necronomicon has stated this is the criteria to indicate if you flew around the world or not.
Okay.
All right.
Like I would fly to Oakland and Miami and spend 3 weeks on the beach in Miami just chilling.
Yeah.
Then
Sure.
fly Miami to, I don't know, where do you fly? Like somewhere in Africa, I assume, right? Chill there for a month. Eventually I'll get back to Oakland.
You flew around the world.
Yeah, right. Maybe I'll do it in 2 years.
You just don't get the free T-shirt. You don't get the free T-shirt.
Okay, fair enough. I flew around the world. I got what's this shitty T-shirt?
Yeah. You don't get that. You spent too much time in Miami.
So they changed the direction to east to west, and this was partly because of changes in global wind and weather patterns along the planned route since the first attempt. On this second attempt, Fred Noonan was Amelia's only crew member. The two left Miami on June 1st, and after multiple stops in South America, Africa, and the Indian subcontinent and Southeast Asia, they arrived at Lae, New Guinea on June 29th, 1937. At this point, about 22,000 miles of the trip had been completed, with the remaining 7,000 miles being over the Pacific Ocean.
It's a long way, 22,000 miles.
And 7,000 miles all over ocean. Oof. That's terrifying.
Yeah, and especially in a small plane like that.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine, yeah.
That gives me severe anxiety just thinking about it.
Not a comfortable plane, just, a 1930s.
That's right. This is no hot towel Bloody Mary plane.
Exactly.
This is a plane that's not, like we said before, not pressurized. She's got a fucking tube coming out of her nose to relieve pressure.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah. At midnight on July 2nd, 1937, Amelia and Noonan took off from Lae Airfield for Howland Island, and they left with about 1,100 gallons of gasoline. In preparation for the trip to Howland Island, the U.S. Coast Guard had sent the cutter USCGC Itasca to the island. The cutter offered services such as ferrying news reporters to the island, but it also had communication and navigation functions. The plan was the cutter could communicate with Amelia via radio, transmit a radio homing signal to make it easy to find Howland Island without precise navigation, do radio direction finding if Amelia used her transmitter, use an experimental high-frequency direction finder for Amelia's voice transmissions, and use her boilers to, quote, make smoke, which is creating a dark column of smoke that could be easily seen. So they had pretty, I would say, high-tech plans for the time in place here.
Agreed. It wasn't just willy-nilly. Like, the Coast Guard was involved. Everyone was involved. Everyone knew her flight plan. She wasn't flying by the seat of her pants, if you will.
Alas.
I mean, Howland Island is about 1,700 miles southwest of Honolulu.
Yeah, Dave, we get it. We get it. You've been there. Okay, fine. Moving on.
I'm just trying to give some context geographically. It's out in the middle of the Pacific between Honolulu and...
the rest of the fucking world.
Well, yeah, like
the Pacific's so damn big.
Yeah, it is
terrifyingly
enormous.
big.
Yeah.
Which is it just makes this all more, incredible that she was, trying to perform this or do this just in these little fucking shitty ass planes that they had back then.
Aluminum tube.
7,000 miles over nothing but water.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's scary.
And it's not like you just crash and then you're on land and they'll find your the debris. And
Sharks
we'll
will
obviously
eat
get to
you.
this, but like you're in water then. Then you're just up to like however the water moves that day and the way the waves blow and the wind's blowing. And like if there's a storm, things are getting tossed all over. Like, damn.
Terrifying. Ever seen that movie Open Water? Where they leave those people stranded out in the middle of water?
No, I don't think so.
Like scuba diving trip and the boat leaves because they do the count wrong.
No.
No. That's why you don't go in nature. You don't
Terrifying.
scuba dive.
Stay at home.
You stay
home.
Stay in the boat and you drink a Corona and you watch
That's
everybody.
right.
And you say, hey, that was cool, but I'm buzzed, so that's cool too. Yeah.
You might leave someone, but you're not leaving me.
Yeah.
I'm still on the boat.
Motherfucker. Bye. And the only time I leave the boat is when you jump over and hold on to the side because you have to pee in the water and then you hop right back in. But you have a death grip on that boat because, again, you ain't fucking leaving me.
The Electra had radio equipment for both communication and navigation, but the details about that equipment aren't clear. And it's something that's really debated on. And I skipped over like a solid 2 pages worth of information that I could have put in here about that equipment and the radio signals and stuff.
Welcome to Amelia Earhart Part 4.
Among people that are very familiar with aviation or pilots themselves, there's a whole debate on the equipment between the plane and the cutter. The Electra failed to establish two-way radio communications with the cutter and failed to radio locate the cutter. So basically, the cutter can hear her and they have communication with her, but she can't talk to them.
That's not great.
Or see them or anything. Like I just said, there's many debates as to why those failures happened. Fred Noonan had earlier written about problems affecting the accuracy of radio direction finding in navigation. Another cited cause of possible confusion was that the cutter and Amelia planned their communication schedule using time systems set a half hour apart. Amelia using Greenwich Civil Time and the cutter under a naval time zone designation system.
That's not great. Come on.
How do you think they took pisses up there, traveling?
In the plane?
Yeah.
I would assume you just piss yourself.
Yeah. People always ask what do NASCAR drivers do. That is literally what they will do.
They just pee in their pants?
If they have to. Like, if you can't hold it, you just go. I mean, if you're driving a car at 200 miles an hour or flying an airplane, you don't want to be distracted by having to go that bad. You might as well just go, I guess.
You don't think she had like a bucket or something?
But what, you think she's like up there, like putting it under her ass or like navigating, to like...
I don't know.
That's what I'm asking. Like, that's,
That sounds
I just fucking get up
horrible.
19 times a flight after, all my fucking liquor bottles falling around, and I go back to the bathroom and occupido, do that. Stewardess, come on in. Excuse me, flight attendant. Mile High Club. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Back to my seat. I apologize. Stewardess is no longer the correct term.
I say that all the time. My wife cracks me. Do you mean flight attendant, idiot?
Yeah. Well,
flight attendant.
We're fucking jackasses. It's flight attendant.
Oh, yeah, stewardess, I believe my beer is empty. What are you doing over there?
Excuse me. He's like, stewardess, toots, babe, get over here.
Hot towel and a hand job, please.
As he licks up his Lucky Strike. So there's no smoking. Excuse me.
There's an ashtray here, isn't there?
A woman will not tell me my place with smoking.
Can you imagine back in the old days what it's like with people smoking on planes? Like, it's so crazy that you used to be able to smoke cigarettes on planes.
I think we talked about that on DB Cooper.
It's crazy.
If I remember correctly, one of the eyewitnesses said that he was smoking cigarettes.
Like, they had those little tiny flip-up ashtrays in the arms of the planes. Which today, if you get on a real old plane, you'll still see those.
Remember when restaurants used to think that a smoking and non-smoking section with nothing blocking that made a difference? Like, motherfucker, the smoking section is 3 feet away from me. Do you not think that smoke is not coming over here? Oh, sir, that is the smoking section.
You sit in a smoking section and blow smoke rings into the non-smokers table.
Like, then there's it's not like it's a different building. It's literally just a table away.
Is there an invisible filtration system over there I don't see? Or
God, fucking humans are stupid sometimes.
The smoking on planes, though, in such a small
because it's
area.
just recycled air coming back in.
Crazy that we used to do that.
There's a couple scenes in Mindhunter when I just remember his name.
Yeah.
Not John Douglas's character, but the other guy.
Yeah.
Just smoking cigarettes next to him in planes. And I'm like, man, if you were a non-smoker, this dude is just chain smoking next to you.
It's a cloud of smoke. You'd need a gas mask on.
Or even, in our lifetimes or, 10 years ago, you have people smoking in cars with the windows up and there's fucking kids in the back seat. It's just, that was such a common thing.
That was my childhood.
Yeah.
My parents both smoked, and
I had non-smoking parents, so I was thankful or fortunate enough with that. But, bars, in our lifetime still too. I went to bars where they were still smoking.
I used to love going to get coffee with my friends and hanging out till 3 a.m. smoking cigarettes all night.
Well, when they passed, I voted for the smoking ban in Ohio. Even I smoked back then, but I'm like, The whole restaurant's a cloud of smoke. Like, I don't like this, and I smoke. I don't want to have this.
Yeah, go outside.
It's terrible. I can go outside.
Yeah.
It's just
Smoke a
rude.
cigarette, come back.
That's wild. We're so evolved as a society.
This entire
now.
fucking episode has been like about cigarettes and smoking. I want that fucking Lucky Strike ad now. If I can't get Blue Chew.
They're all like cartoony, like Lucky Strikes. They're the one. They won't give you cancer. They're just fun.
There we go. Dave just wrote the ad. Hit us up, Lucky Strike. We are at Necronomipod on all the socials.
During Amelia and Noonan's approach to Howland Island, the cutter received strong and clear voice transmissions from Amelia, identifying as KHAQQ, which was a code for her plane. But apparently she was unable to hear voice transmissions from the ship. Signals from the ship would also be used for direction finding, implying that the aircraft's direction finder was also not functional. The first calls, routine reports stating the weather is cloudy and overcast, were received at 2:45 a.m. and just before 5 a.m. on July 2nd. These calls were broken up by static, but at this point the aircraft would still be a long distance from Howland. At 6:14 a.m., another call was received saying the aircraft was within 200 miles and requested that the ship use its direction finder to provide a location. Amelia began whistling into the microphone to provide a continual signal for them to home in on. It was at this point that the radio operators on the cutter realized that their system could not tune into the aircraft's frequency. Radio man Leo Bellerts later commented that he was, quote, sitting there sweating blood because I couldn't do a darn thing about it. A similar call asking for a location was received at 6:45 a.m. when Amelia estimated they were 100 miles out. These are the radio logs from the cutter. Position 1 at 7:30 to 7:40 a.m. said, Earhart on Northwest says, running out of gas, only half hour left, can't hear us at all. We hear her and are sending on 3105 ES 500, same time constantly.
So she can hear them. No, they can hear her. She can't hear them replying back.
And she can't see their signal as far as like where they're positioned. Another radio log at 7:42 a.m. said, KHQQ, calling Ithaca, we must be on you, but cannot see you. But gas is running low. Unable to reach you by radio. We are flying at 1,000 feet.
That's low.
That's scary. Yeah, dude.
Over just ocean.
1,000 feet above the ocean, running out of gas.
Yeah.
You're shitting your pants.
I'll pass on that. On that scenario.
Amelia's 7:58 a.m. transmission said she could not hear the cutter and asked them to send voice signals so she could try to take a radio location. The transmission was reported by the cutter as the loudest possible signal, implying that Amelia and Noonan were very close. They could not send voice at the frequency she asked for, so Morse code signals were sent instead. Amelia acknowledged receiving these, but said she was unable to determine their direction.
It's just not working all this out beforehand is just seems a little sloppy.
A little bit. But like I said, there's a whole thing with like the radio equipment, the frequencies and stuff that I didn't understand a single word of what I was reading, but
that's a deep dive there as far as all that stuff. But like, they don't know, they're not radio operators. They don't know Morse code. They're on different frequencies. I mean, all that adds up to a disaster. Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
That whole no radio person doesn't make much sense at all.
Right.
Fucking Putnam, man. I blame him.
Is that who you blame?
Well, thus far. We'll see.
Okay. All right.
In her last known transmission at 8:43 a.m., Amelia broadcasted, quote, we are on the line 157, 337. We will repeat this message. We will repeat this on 6210 kilocycles. Wait. A few moments later, she was back on the same frequency with a transmission that was logged as, quote, questionable, and said, we are running on line north and south.
Questionable.
What do you think's going through her mind at this point? I can't.
We're going to ditch in the ocean very soon.
But like, what does ditch even mean back then? Like,
It means you're done.
Like, you're running low on fuel. You can't hear or see them or get any signals. You're doing your best, I guess, to circle around in the area.
I don't know, man.
Maybe try to safely land in water. I guess that's your best, and not sink.
And if I mean, were these planes even equipped for that? I mean, they could have just, started shattering and breaking apart as soon as they hit the water.
Sure,
I don't know, but just
sure.
like, I can't even imagine.
What is logged as questionable? Meaning it could be just a hoax, someone else?
They could have picked up something else.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was questionable. It's like they couldn't quite tell what she was saying.
It was questionable. Either
That it
wasn't
her.
good quality, and then it might not have even been her.
Oh, this is a good scenario.
Some kid in San Francisco on the ham radio be like, oh, we're about 1,000 feet. We're going to crash.
Right. Oh, boy.
Because there's stuff we're going to get into a bit. There's a lot of debate over a lot of radio signals that were picked up.
Yeah, we get into some
this
good
one.
stuff here coming up. Yeah.
Amelia's transmission seemed to show she and Noonan believed that they had reached Howland's charted position, which was off by about 5 nautical miles. The cutter used oil boilers to generate smoke for some time, but Amelia obviously did not see it. Or if she did, she didn't make it there.
Didn't help. Yeah.
Whether any post-loss radio signals were received from Amelia and Noonan is still unknown. If transmissions were received from the Electa, most, if not all, were weak and unclear. Reports of further transmissions were later determined to be hoaxes, but some were considered to be authentic.
The hoax thing's really interesting. I don't know. Like, where are those coming from?
Yeah.
There's people fucking around. In the 30s, jokesters. Oh, yes, this is Amelia Earhart. I'm like, I don't know, 2,000, 4,000 feet up in the air. I don't see your smoke signals. I don't know. I'm by Japan or something. I don't know.
You think people were just
Baba Booey! And then they sign off.
like, you think they were just muting the radio and then cracking up to each other? Like,
It's like phony phone calls from like 80 years ago.
Tell us about them, Dave. Oh, okay.
We've discussed phony phone calls in depth previously. Yes, Amelia. I don't know. Gotta take a pee, guys. I don't see you guys. I'd really like to land soon. I don't see the island. I don't know. I'm up here. Fred's boning me. I'm trying to fly. Fred can't find the clit. I don't know.
That's true. What's more difficult, finding a landing spot or finding the cliff?
You tell us, Mike. Pilot Mike.
I don't know. It's one of the wonders of the universe.
Yeah.
bearings taken by Pan American Airways suggested signals originating from several locations, including Gardner Island, which was 360 miles from Howland. It was noted at the time that if these signals were from Amelia and Noonan, they must have been on land with the aircraft, since water would have shorted out the electrical system.
I'm here, I'm there, I don't know, I'm everywhere.
Sporadic signals were reported for 4 or 5 days after the disappearance, but none showed any understandable information. Involved in the search, the captain of the USS Colorado later said, quote, "There was no doubt many stations were calling the Earhart plane on the plane's frequency, some by voice and others by signals. All of these added to the confusion and doubtfulness of the authenticity of the reports."
We'll be right back.
Is there something interfering with your happiness? Something keeping you from achieving your 2020 goals? Let's face it, these are certainly trying times. From being cooped up inside your home to wondering how you're going to pay next month's bills, we're all experiencing some form of stress or strain on our mental health. And for that, BetterHelp is here for us. BetterHelp is an online mental health provider that will assess your needs and match you up with your own licensed professional therapist. The best part? No waiting rooms. That's a pretty big deal if you're as impatient as I am. BetterHelp is a safe and private online environment that will have you communicating with a counselor within the first 24 hours. And once you've begun, you can send your counselor a message at any time, always getting a helpful response in a timely manner. You even have the ability to schedule weekly video or phone sessions, all from the comfort of your very own couch. BetterHelp is available worldwide and has a broad range of expertise available, including licensed professional counselors who specialize in depression, stress, anxiety, relationships, sleeping, trauma, anger, family conflict, LGBT matters, grief, and self-esteem. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they're currently recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. Not happy with your counselor? No worries. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches and makes it easy and free to change counselors if needed. Remember, everything you share with your BetterHelp counselor is completely confidential. And while it's not a crisis line, it is a convenient, professional, and affordable way to seek the help you deserve. Financial aid is even offered to those who qualify. Want to hear how BetterHelp assisted people just like you? Check out the testimonials posted daily on their site. Look, we here at Necronomipod want you to start living a happier life. So, as a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting betterhelp.com/necro. Join over 1 million people already taking charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, betterhelp.com/necro.
The official search efforts lasted until July 19th, 1937. The search cost $4 million, which was done by the Navy and Coast Guard, and that was the most expensive and intensive search in U.S. history up to that time.
That's a lot of fucking money.
She's a national hero.
But for 1937, $4 million. Dave, did you do the math on what that?
I didn't, but I mean, using the same equation is probably, what, $60 million today?
60 or 16, what'd you say?
60?
God damn.
She was an American hero. She was on stamps and stuff.
Where's fucking our guy from Missing 411 on this? I want him on it.
Him searching for her?
Mustache man.
David Paulides.
I want Paulides.
You want him on the case?
If David Paulides was on this case, he'd have found her by now.
It's a bold statement.
You going to sit here and tell David Paulides he can't do it? Come on. He'd do it. If only his specialty was oceans and not national parks. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
We all play our part, Mike.
Yeah. We need a David Paulides of the oceans.
Okay.
I want my super cop for that. We have our super cop for serial killers. We have our super cop for national parks. Although David Paulides isn't very successful.
No, he's not. He's just successful at pointing out the issue.
He's not finding anybody.
He just gathers numbers.
It's yeah, they're gone.
And fucking makes you terrified. So never mind.
He doesn't put forth any suggestions for resolution or anything.
Never mind. Fuck out of here, Paulides. Awesome stash, though.
Immediately after the official search, Putnam financed a private search by local authorities of nearby Pacific islands. In late July 1937, Putnam sent 2 boats and, while he stayed in the United States, directed a search of the Phoenix Islands, Christmas Island, Fanning Island, the Gilbert Islands, and the Marshall Islands, but nothing was found. Back in the United States, Putnam became the trustee of Amelia's estate so that he could pay for the searches and related bills. In probate court in Los Angeles, Putnam requested to have the 7-year waiting period for a missing person to be considered dead waived so that he could manage Amelia's finances. As a result, Amelia was declared legally dead on January 5th, 1939.
It's about a year and a half.
The official U.S. position is that Amelia Earhart and Noonan ran out of fuel on the way to Howland Island and crashed in the Pacific Ocean. About 15 years ago, a company called Nauticos, which is in Hanover, Maryland, they run deep ocean searches and other ocean research services. They led a search to locate Amelia's plane, where they believed it crashed in the Pacific Ocean in the vicinity of Howland Island. Nauticos president David Jordan said in 2003 that by studying things like Amelia's broken up radio transmissions and what is known about the Electra's fuel supply, he and his colleagues had narrowed down an area of the ocean that they believe will eventually end up finding her plane. He said, quote, "We are confident it is in the area we are searching. Of course, we can't guarantee it because it would be on the outside edge, but we are sure it's in the vicinity." In March and April of 2002, the company used a deep-sea sonar system to search 630 square miles of ocean floor near Howland. They didn't find the plane on that search or a follow-up search in 2006. Later in 2009, a team organized by the Waite Institute for Discovery searched a roughly Delaware-size area just west of Howland with the help of deep-sea robots.
Delaware's small. It's nothing.
Yeah?
Come on.
Cover that in a day.
Is Delaware the second smallest state next to Rhode Island? I think it is, right?
It's gotta be, right? What else?
I think so.
I think, and then Arizona's third. That's how I remember it.
Okay.
That expedition turned up no clues. Ted Waite, the Institute's president, said in a statement that its results, quote, eliminate thousands of square miles from future search efforts. The International Group for Historic Aircraft Recovery, or TIGER, is investigating the idea that Amelia and Noonan landed the Electra on Nikomororo Island, a small piece of land 350 nautical miles southwest of Howland. The researchers based this theory on Amelia's last radio transmissions. At 8:43 a.m. on July 2nd, Amelia radioed the cutter, quote, KHAQQ to Itasca. We are on line 157-337. The cutter received that transmission but couldn't get any location on the signal. The quote line 157-337 indicates that the plane was flying on a northwest to southeast line that bisected Howland Island. If Amelia and Noonan missed Howland, they would fly either northwest or southeast on the line to find it. The northwest of Howland is open ocean for thousands of miles, and to the southwest is Nikomororo. The line of position radio message, that was the last confirmed transmission from Amelia, but radio operators received 121 messages over the next 10 days. Of those, at least 57 could have been from the Electra. Wireless stations took direction locations on 6 of them, and Tom King of Tiger said, quote, 4 crossed near the Phoenix Islands, and most messages were at night when the tide was low. At the time of Amelia's disappearance, the tide on Nikomororo was especially low, showing the reef surface along the shoreline and flat enough for a plane to land. If Amelia sent any of those 57 radio transmissions, the plane must have landed relatively intact.
That's interesting.
That's extremely interesting. Mm-hmm. Also imagine just the luck. The Pacific Ocean, you're running out of gas, you find something, and you might actually be able to land on it because the tide's low enough.
The Tiger researchers theorized that Amelia and Noonan radioed at night to avoid the daytime heat inside the aluminum plane.
You got to be fucking cooking in that thing.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I mean, when you're up higher altitude, it's probably not as bad, but whew. Yeah. I can cook my Hot Pockets right there inside the thing. Just put them on the seat. They'd cook for me.
That's a great point.
Yeah. You know, because I would travel with Hot Pockets in case
Who wouldn't?
In case my ass got castawayed.
Eventually, the tide lifted the Electra off the reef and sank it or broke it up in the surf. That's when the radio transmission stopped on July 13th, 1937. Later in 1937, a British party explored the island with the intent of colonizing it.
These fucking British, what, they got to colonize every square inch of the earth? Little fucking island in the middle of the Pacific? Let's colonize it. Get out of here.
Eric Bevington, a colonial officer, noticed what looked like a, quote, overnight bivouac.
Which is just like a temporary camp setup.
Oh, I thought it was like a type of cognac.
Okay, we can go with that if you want.
I mean, if you're going to go out in style, right?
Every single time.
He also took a photograph of the shoreline, which included an unidentified object that Tiger speculates might be a plane's landing gear.
You couldn't call anyone?
Yeah.
Let us know. You never heard of Amelia Earhart, you colonizing bastard?
Might be a landing gear. Fuck it. Throw it in the ocean. We don't need it.
I do say, sir, this just looks unremarkable.
By 1938, the island was colonized as part of the Phoenix Island Settlement Scheme, one of the British Empire's last expansions. colonists reported finding airplane parts, which some could have possibly been from the Electra.
What?
We just don't know.
Christ.
What is going on here?
In 1940, Gerald Gallagher, the colonial administrator, found 13 bones buried near the remains of a campfire. He also found the remains of 2 shoes, a man's and a woman's, as well as a box that once held a navigation
For
device.
fuck's sake! Jesus Christ! Why is this still like a mysterious story that we don't know what happened? Motherfucker.
The bones were shipped to Fiji, measured, and then lost.
Naturally.
Of course.
Tiger researchers evaluated the measurements using modern techniques and determined that the bones could be from a woman Amelia's size and build.
I mean, did a lot of pilots go missing back then? Like, who else would it be?
Female pilots, because it met her
Right.
build, like, and a female shoe. Like, we're talking like one of 16 here at this time. Like, if this was a murder trial, there is more than enough evidence to put someone in jail.
That's right. It's very specific and,
How many
circumstantial
fucking
evidence.
penal colonies are we going to let the British set up before we tell them, you know what? You're no longer allowed to colonize any place. This is just, when I read this, like, this was like, how do you not hear more about this? I mean, I'll save it for the end, but like, come on.
Yeah.
Tiger has launched 12 searches to the island since 1989. Over the course of those visits to the island, they've identified a site that matches Gallagher's description of where the bones were found. They call this Site 7, which the name comes from the shape of a clearing around it. There's evidence of several campfires, as well as the remains of birds, fish, turtles, and clams, showing that someone ate there. Based on the way the clams were opened and fish consumed, which the heads weren't eaten, these were eaten by someone that probably was not from the Pacific Islands.
I wonder who that might be.
You know, those Pacific Islanders, they just fucking grab a fish out of the water and fucking bite the head off with their bare hands.
Like The Rock, right?
Well, I was thinking more of the head shrinkers, Dave, from the early 90s, because that was kind of their gimmick. Related to The Rock, though, so you were right. All those Samoans, fucking badasses.
There were also several 1930s era bottles found at the site. One of them may have contained freckle cream, a cosmetic that Amelia was likely to have used.
Did they have her fingerprints on the bottle that maybe someone didn't mention?
Amelia's fingerprints were found in the bottle. The bottle was thus then lost.
That's right.
Like, how is this story not over right now? How is this not the end of the episode?
A tiger search is currently underway at the island, deploying 4 cadaver dogs that can sniff out human remains as deep as 9 feet underground and as old as 1,500 years, which, from what I was reading with that, those are special cadaver dogs, is based on how many years they can go back. Like, those are pretty...
That's wild.
But I mean,
1,500 years.
yeah, but what
High.
happens, like, that long ago, if that tide comes up and takes the bodies, like, you're not going to find them back in the water.
No,
if they were, if they had died on the beach or something.
Right.
What kind of vegetation is on this island? Like, how long could someone survive? Is it
And did they have a Wilson?
Yeah, is it
I
like
wonder.
a castaway type island where you can
but there could have been 2 of them, right? Although Tom Hanks's buddy died, he found his body in the water.
Were they banging on the island, you think? Probably, right?
I don't know if that'd be my go-to, like if I'm trying to survive. I'll tell you what. In a situation like that, if I was trying to have sex in a stressful environment, I would love to have a Blue Chew in my back pocket.
Really? Might come in handy.
Huh. The only boner pill that'll get you hard on a deserted island. Alas, they don't pay us for that, so we won't even go down that road. I don't know. You think they were banging maybe for a while?
I like to think so. I like to think they rode out their last days into the sunset. I don't know.
All right. Dave's thinking about Amelia Earhart getting banged out on an island.
I pay for high quality footage of that.
Oh, cousin Larry. Thank you for joining us.
I want the footage of Amelia Earhart getting banged out in a sand dune.
We ask the tough questions, don't we? I mean, now people are thinking about it. They're thinking like, hey, would I be banging if I was stuck there?
Nothing else to do, right?
Well, try to live.
Like catching crabs and fish, right?
Yeah.
cracking coconuts open?
Look, you're talking to like Ian and I would literally have to spend 23 and a half hours of day trying to catch something to eat. And then that half hour eating like the grass because I couldn't catch anything. Right. And then I'd have to try again. I would literally be trying to get something to eat. Like, you know, I go back to Castaway. Fast forward 4 years later, he's throwing a fucking spear into the water and getting a fish. That would take me at least 4 lifetimes to learn. I would not survive I wouldn't last a week on something like that.
Mike's Google search when they find him is feces edible.
I'd like to think if I was able to Google search, I could contact somebody, you know, maybe send an email or a call. But no, I'm searching is feces edible. Do bears live on such and such islands? And how do I defend? Motherfucker, just call somebody.
There's a third theory that's pretty popular, is that Amelia and Noonan, unable or maybe not intending to find Howland, headed north to the Japanese-controlled Marshall Islands, where they were taken hostage by the Japanese, possibly as U.S. spies. Some believe that both of them were eventually killed, while others believe Amelia and maybe Noonan returned to the U.S. under assumed names. According to one theory, Amelia took the name Irene Craigmile, then married Guy Bolam and became Irene Bolam, who died in New Jersey in 1982.
Sure. Okay.
Roland C. Reneck, a retired U.S. Air Force colonel who lives in Kailua, Hawaii, claimed in 2003 that, quote, if she couldn't find Howland, plan B was to cut off communications and head for the Marshall Islands and ditch her airplane there. Reneck's book, Amelia Earhart Survived, describes a scenario in which Amelia ditched her plane in the Marshall Islands and returned to the U.S. under an assumed name for national security reasons. According to Reneck, the plan would have allowed the U.S. government to rescue Amelia in the Marshall Islands and at the same time run pre-war reconnaissance on the Japanese. This plan didn't work out, and when Amelia radioed that she was headed north, the message was intercepted and the Japanese took her hostage. In recent years, high school science teacher Dick Spink that's his name. I mean,
his cousin's name's Cockspank.
Dick Spink and Cockspank. The Spink and Spank twins.
He picked up where Reneck left off. Collecting stories from the Marshall Islands, he says are proof that Amelia and Noonan landed on a tiny atoll named Millie. He said, quote, the world needs to know this. I heard a consistent story from too many people in the Marshalls to dismiss it. They say she landed at Millie. Our uncles and aunts, our parents and our grandparents know she landed there.
All right, Dick.
Where'd she go then?
The Marshallese accounts were so convincing that Dick Spink spent $50,000 of his own money.
Dick Spink spent the pack of pickled peppers.
That Patty Pecker picked on Puny Pecker. Puny Pecker, that's a shirt.
He spent $50,000 of his own money to search. Didn't find anything. There was a recently aired History Channel documentary called Amelia Earhart, The Lost Evidence, and it claims new connections between Amelia and the Marshall Islands, pointing to a possibly pre-World War II archival photograph of a dock at Jaluit Atoll, one of the Marshall Islands, that filmmakers claim shows Amelia and Noonan. The documentary argues that the Japanese Navy thought that Amelia and Noonan were U.S. spies, eventually imprisoning them on the island of Saipan to await their deaths either by execution or dysentery.
Dysentery. God damn. Yikes.
I would argue...
Which is worse, huh?
Execute me. Fuck. Just cut my head off.
I would say the History Channel isn't very credible anymore. Remember...
I was gonna say
they're
that
really
earlier.
not, because I don't believe but I don't think any of that's accurate. It's just a blurry photo that doesn't really can't be proved at all.
The History Channel has some really good quality content on it, but then they also have a lot of sensationalism on their shows, and it's just like we talked about earlier, what's the sexy topic? What do people want to hear? Like, didn't they started doing like UFO type shit on their channel?
Are you saying UFO stuff's not credible?
But I'm saying it's not like the History Channel. It's not the History Channel. Like, that's not what you need to get into. I don't want speculation on a History Channel.
My issue with them was, remember when we did the Zodiac episode, there was that one suspect that was still alive, and they wanted him for an interview, and he was like, no, I don't want anything to do with this. And they were like, well, if you just come on and kind of play like you are,
that's right. We talked about it.
We'll give you money. And he was like, no, fuck you. And then they just ran with it anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Amelia Earhart enthusiasts have long dismissed the Marshall Island theory as ridiculous. Fred Patterson, a World Airways pilot for 25 years, who also owned 2 Electras, said, quote, "There's just no way she made it to the Marshall Islands. I've done some long-range flying in that airplane myself. I know exactly what it burns per hour." Patterson and many in his camp argued that radio transmissions place Amelia near her intended destination of Howland Island when she said, quote, "Gas is running low. The distance from Howland to the Millie Atoll is 800 miles, nearly 4.5 hours away at the Electra's cruising speed." So,
damn,
that is not real. She didn't.
And nor does that photograph prove anything. It's just an undated photograph of
nothing.
Somebody.
Of nothingness.
I mean, yeah, it's just, there's not proof of it.
But let's get into the big one, the final theory.
Yeah, the final theory was the Bermuda Triangle, but admittedly, I am an idiot because the Bermuda Triangle is in the Atlantic and Amelia disappeared in the Pacific. So that's the end of the episode. We're done.
And I think we even talked about this on the Patreon bonus cooldown show. Like, this conversation led the Bermuda Triangle, which is very interesting in itself, and that might be a future episode for sure.
Yeah.
But not so much here. And I will admit, I knew that it was, I did not know where Amelia Earhart went missing. I thought it was over the Atlantic. So I assumed it was maybe the Bermuda Triangle could have played a part. I did not know.
Apparently I missed this on the cooldown show because I know where she went down and I know where the Bermuda Triangle is. And I guess I was not paying attention.
I can't remember what we exactly said. We just made a loose connection to going missing and then the Bermuda Triangle. I don't know if Ian actually said, the Bermuda Triangle is one of the, possible.
Bermuda Triangle is roughly like Miami, Bermuda, Puerto Rico, like that triangle area.
The Bermuda area of that. Yeah.
When I looked it up online and I just did a quick Google search, I'm like, Amelia Earhart, Bermuda Triangle. The first thing that came up was like, no, you're wrong. And it was like,
what are you, a fucking idiot?
There was but it was a whole article on how people just really, that's like a common thing that people are just like, oh yeah, there's something weird happened. She disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle.
That's a Mandela effect thing.
It could be.
No,
get into that next week.
They'll probably not, Dave. Just people being stupid, I think, on this one.
Yeah, I'll admit I was pretty stupid. I was sitting there, I was like getting ready to Google. I'm like, well, the episode's over now. We're done.
Save me a page of research.
It's fantastic.
All right, so Dave, I'll start with you. What the fuck happened?
I think there's more than enough proof that she went down on Nicomoro Island.
Nicomoro
whatever it's
Island.
called.
Yeah.
I mean, who else went down there? Like, what,
Another woman flying a plane in the 1930s happened to go down there. You mean all 4 of them that were flying at that time?
Like, who do you trace that all that physical evidence to?
Yeah.
I think it makes plausible sense.
We were kind of talking about this off air beforehand, so I know we all kind of agree that we think the same thing as you, Dave. But why is this not then talked about more? Why is it still such a mystery what happened to her?
I don't think it's definitive, and people like mysteries and people like conspiracies and people like all this stuff. I don't know.
But people like solving mysteries too, though.
Well, you can't definitively say that they were there, but I think it's pretty obvious.
I think until a piece of her plane is found or something, it's going to be
right.
It's going to be a mystery forever. It's going to live on. I think it has a lot to do with just who she was, what she was able to accomplish. And
But that's the thing. Like, it would be awesome to celebrate her as for what she actually did and accomplished, as opposed to like her going missing, which is really like when you first think of Amelia Earhart, that's the first thing that comes to mind for most, 95% of people. And it's crazy. And they're not, I don't know if they're ever going to find anything, because by then, if they haven't found it by now, at least like her plane, it's out in the ocean, and then good luck.
yeah, I don't think anything will ever be found.
Maybe they might find some bone or something in the sand. I don't know. I mean, they got the search going on now with the dogs, but
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about these search areas and whatnot. The Pacific Ocean is just massive. It's even incomprehensibly massive. Like if that plane crashed there and the tide took it out in the ocean, it floated, wherever, and it eventually sank to the bottom of the ocean. I mean, you're just not going to find it. It's just,
and depending on the damage and the wear and tear, parts might move.
Sure.
They might be moving around. It might not stay put.
Even if they found, I don't know, somebody out there with a metal detector ended up finding a piece of her clothing that could be linked back to her or something. Until then, I don't think.
Yeah. It's just a huge area. It's just not possible to ever search it.
Don't fly on planes, people. Stay in your homes. If you want a vacation, just turn off all the lights, watch a movie. It's like a vacation-ish.
It's a staycation.
Yeah. Or just fly domestically. Because, of course, we're going to find your ruins. And if you're going to crash, we'll find your ruins. And then,
So it's a pragmatic way to look at travel, Mike.
Look, if you crash over Kansas, we're going to find you. Okay? Or we're going to find the plane at least. We might not find you. There might not be much left of you.
It's true.
I don't mean to be, No, I do. I know what I'm doing, but still. All right. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was
That was an episode.
yeah. Once
episode.
once I realized that there was no Bermuda Triangle stuff really or anything paranormal with that,
Kind of made it obvious, right?
Yeah, with that tiger thing, it was like, well, this seems pretty clear cut, without any actual proof. But I ended up being more interested in just her as a person. Like, I didn't know that she was a nurse during World War I and all that stuff.
She's a badass.
Yeah. The Lucky Strike artwork of her from back then is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Advertisements and stuff.
We're available, Lucky Strike. We don't have kids listening. We're an adult audience. Just saying.
Maybe it's a new niche. Like we market cigarettes to kids. Try to loop them in early. Like we go back to the old days, like with Joe Camel when they tried to get kids smoking when they were 11.
There's tons of kids listening, I think. All right. Any final thoughts on Amelia Earhart? Anything else? I think we touched it all.
I'm 95% sure that they crashed on that atoll and not an atoll, whatever, that Nicomorea Island, and
I'm with you.
that's probably it. Like, how long did they live? How long did they live there? Like, that's the interesting part.
Yeah, exactly.
Like how did they live out their final days, or what went on?
Well, what did it say? Turtles, fish, like they found, like you're just eating what you can find. That's what's
Or like, was there any activity during World War II, which started, how many couple years later? Were there any battles around there? Were there any presence of military presence on that little small island?
Maybe they're just sitting there fucking eating raw fish, watching battles going on.
Yeah, like who knows what happened?
Yeah, that's interesting. That opens up a whole another set of doors.
Curious to know what the actual fate is.
You got anything else on that one?
Nope. I'm good.
All right. We got some patrons to shout out. Thank you very much to Angie Hansen, Brittany Sterling, Tina Malia. I'm here for religion jokes and serial killers. Hunter.
Hey, me too.
Hunter Bone. Mike is wrong. Goonies is great. I don't know about that, Pally. Teddy F. Laura. Corrine Topeka. Tawny Duncan. Kayla Fernandez. Athena Thibodeau. Jordan Kaling. Bree Weavers. Emily Merrilees. Angela Hill. Sarah Wood. Mariah Sines. Orman Arnold. Hugh G. Rection, Brad Dunshee, Tristram Shandy, Jose, Kayla, Carly Aker, Lucas Roth, Kirsten Smith, Mr. Muggs Gives Good Tugs, Allie Skinner, Hooper, John Blankenship, Jessica, Joe Fogarty, Abby Norville, Emily Martin, Chelsea Johnson, Joe Isrico, Catalina Landon Turner, Juan Lira, Will, Kate Russell, Ken Moore, Brandon Zatar, David Skaggs, and Cherry. Thank you very much. We are at patreon.com/Necronomipod. Appreciate your support. Ian, what do you got?
For iTunes, I have one for Big Santan, Easy, Linux Sensei Dave, Ven Loch Nessa Ford, and Aaron M115. Thank you guys for the awesome reviews.
Dave, what do you got?
I just want to throw out there that we threw our show in the hat for Crime Con for 2022 in Vegas next year to be on Podcasters Row. So if you'd be interested in seeing us out there, let them know.
Yeah. We applied.
We applied.
We have not yet been accepted, but waiting to hear back.
That's all I got on that.
Yeah.
No further information at this time. Would be kind of fun though.
Yeah, we shall see what happens.
It would be different to be in like the same room as Nancy Grace.
Yeah, that wouldn't be pleasant at all, I don't think.
I would consider that we made it at that point.
Might exchange words with Nancy Grace.
Yeah.
Is it all right if I get thrown out of CrimeCon?
They might not let us back after if we did get accepted.
I would wear my Nancy Grace wig for sure.
See, exactly. We would get thrown out and
Hot mom.
not invited back.
I'd take a plate of tater tots and start throwing them at her, maybe.
No, you wouldn't.
Tot mom.
Who's going to waste tater tots like that?
Well, that's
Come
true.
on. They're
You're
fucking
right.
delicious.
I'm curious if they would let us drink like we normally do.
The answer to that is yes, Ian. Yes, we would.
I'm going to go on record right now. That is a deal breaker for me.
No, I mean, if CrimeCon didn't let us.
If I can't sit at my own table and drink alcohols, yeah, I no-show that event.
We could do like it's an Always Sunny when they put the wine in the Coke cans.
Why would they not let you, though? Like, first of all, it's Vegas. You're in a casino, right?
Anything goes.
Yeah, it's no holds barred out there. It's the purge all the time out in Vegas.
Legal weed in Nevada, Mike. You could possibly do a weed one time.
Maybe a contest if we did it. Listener could do a weed with me.
At our table at CrimeCon.
Wow.
I didn't say all that. I mean, come on. Ian just went from they're not going to let us drink to we're doing weeds at tables.
That'd be a hell of a contest. People might like to do Mike's first weed with you.
Yeah, we'll see. I've seen the movie Casino. I know that a lot of things out in Vegas end with you getting buried alive after being beaten brutally with a baseball bat. So we shall see on all that. Anyways. All right, we are on all the socials at Necronomipod. Check us out at necronomipod.com. You can get links to all of that. Amazon.com. Search Necronomipod. And as always, we appreciate you guys listening. Thank you very much.
All right, you guys ready for a cool down beer?
Cheers.